Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video, and this is a paid request from Devon. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of movie review, re-review, random thoughts, dreams, commentaries, video game playthrough for an hour or full playthrough, tier list ranking, random thoughts, whatever the case may be, again, PayPal is the best way to do it. We have a Cash app as well. Links are down below in info box, and I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. And this is for A History of Violence from 2005. Now, I had not seen this film in a while, but I always liked it, and I still like it. I think what was more surprising, at least for me back in the day, is that it was a David Cronenberg film. Because it is a violent film, so the title's not just there for the giggles, or the shits and giggles, but Cronenberg was more known for horror and maybe sci-fi horror or of that ilk. Scanners, Videodrome, The Fly remake, Dead Rainers. I guess you wouldn't really call that horror. Probably Dead Rainers, was going in that direction that this led to. But you had Naked Lunch, stuff of that nature. Now, my favorite Cronenberg film it'll always be the Fly remake. Then probably I like The Dead Zone. I like Videodrome. But this definitely felt like even more of a departure for Cronenberg. And then he would do Eastern Promises later with Viggo Mortensen as well. And then he kind of continued on this trajectory where he kind of shied away from horror for the most part. There's dark themes in his movie, or movies, I should say. But it definitely wasn't the body horror type. Well, okay, he tried to do it, to be fair, but then it just wasn't for me. So, to be fair, he did try to go back to that. I mean, I can't remember the other films he did afterward. I think there was one called Edmund. Eastern Promises, I don't remember a whole lot about. I might have not minded that one. This is probably the last Cronenberg film I truly liked. Not, oh, it's okay, or it's there, or it wasn't for me, but probably the last one I truly liked of his was this film. And it's a pretty simple story. You have Viggo Mortensen, who I always liked as an actor. Of course, he was in Lord of the Rings. He was in the third Texas Chainsaw Massacre film. Like I said, I always liked him as an actor. He plays a guy who owns a diner, and he's got a wife and two kids. His wife is played by Maria Bello. Maria Bello has been in quite a few films throughout the years. And then you have an older son and a younger daughter. Maria Bello, I want to say it was Payback that I remember her from with Mel Gibson. I think that's the one. Because I get confused with movies and titles nowadays. I'm getting old, folks. I'm getting old. But anyway, everything seems to be doing fine. People seem to like Viggo Mortensen's character. His son's getting bullied at school, but it is what it is. But they seem to be doing fine. His relationship with his wife is strong. They even have a little bit of fun, where she dresses up as a cheerleader, and they have a bit of horizontal fandango, bit of fun. But then one day, these two killers who were introduced at the beginning, and they're kind of talking and going back and forth, and we go into like this gas station, and they murder these people, and there's a little girl, and this guy just kills the little girl. So they're definitely of no moral fiber in between them. One of the two is actually Stephen McHattie, who I do like as an actor. I remember him in this film called Pontypool, which I thought was a very interesting film because of the story and his performance. The ending, I wish, was a bit better. The ending I thought they could have done more with, but I do remember liking Pontypool. But anyway, these two enter Vito's diner. They hold up the place, and then Vito is able to incapacitate them and kill them. Shoot the guy there, get stabbed in the foot, shoot this guy in the face, and then finish him off. And when the violence hits, it hits hard. You have practical blood squibs, you got grisly aftermath, like Stephen McHattie, a piece of his flesh is hanging off there because where the bullet went through the first time. And there's some other pretty violent bits throughout it. When Vito does fight, they're bone crunching, you really feel like he's getting people in the throat or repeatedly hitting someone in the nose with the palm of his hand. There's a bit where he stomps on a guy's neck, where the guy's on the ground. He's like, it's ooh, like you really feel it, which I like because it doesn't sugarcoat that part. You know, it shows the nasty grisliness of it, and it doesn't try to placate to people who get easily offended by this stuff. He saves the people there. He kills these two guys in self-defense, and he gets a bit popular. He gets on the news. But you tell he's a bit leery about that. And then some mysterious people show up, including Ed Harris. Which, of course, he was in The Abyss, and he was in The Rock, and he's been a great actor. I think this is the film that Ed Harris had that weird-ass meltdown that I still don't understand what the fuck happened. Because I think there was like a Q&A, and Ed Harris is talking, then he just snaps, and he starts like being angry for like no reason. And I think it was for this film. You can find it on YouTube. You may have already seen clips of this and not realize it, but I think it's from some Q&A, something they were doing promoting the film. Like the group is there. I'm still going, what the fuck is this guy's problem? If anyone had the balls, I love them to ask Ed Harris, what happened there, dude? What was the deal? Did you get some bad, bacon and eggs that morning? The fillet of fish you got from McDonald's was spoiled? I mean, what was the deal? But he does a good job here. Him and this other guy are there, and you tell he's scarred up on his face. He keeps calling Vito's character Joey. He's like, I'm not Joey. Yeah, you are. You're Joey. You're Joey from Philly. So the slow tension builds up where they keep prodding at Viggo Mortensen. The family doesn't know what's going on. Until ultimately you find out that Viggo Mortensen's character has a bit of a past. Now, we've seen this kind of film done before, where the guy is with his family, and you find out, oh, he used to be somebody, he used to be an agent, or he used to be a hitman, or he used to be this. I mean, hell, nobody was kind of that with Bob Odenkirk. He wasn't a hitman, but he was an agent, and he has a special set of skills. And that's been a common theme in a lot of movies. Oh, what's his family going to do once they realize he is not who they thought he was? And this kind of plays it off as definitely more of a tension-fueled uneasiness. And I think the actors do their jobs fairly well. And it's not wall-to-wall action, but when it happens, it does leave like a, ooh, like you got sucker punched, which I think fits. And it's not too overlong either. Like, it doesn't overstay its welcome. It's not this over 2 hour drag fest, as in it drags and it drags. It doesn't feel that way. And in fact, I kind of wish it was maybe even a little bit longer, and there were a few things kind of more, not built up, but a bit more flourish, a bit more details put in there. But to get into spoilers, because I do think this is a good film. If you haven't seen it and you want to see a different side of David Cronenberg, it's worth the watch. Again, the acting is good. When the violence is there, it hits hard. And it doesn't overstay. Like I said, it's a pretty short film. I think it's like 90-some minutes long. But to get more into spoilers, when I say there's a slow build of tension, Ed Harris will kind of watch the wife, and the wife's looking for her daughter, and Ed's there. Oh no, I'm just watching her. It's a mall. Hey, everything's fine. I think your husband's lying to you, though. I don't think you know your husband as well as you think you do. Or like the son finally defends himself from the bullies, and he gets suspended, and Vito's like, no, you're not supposed to be hitting them. Oh no, Dad, that's right, we should just be killing them. And then the dad slaps his son, but then he regrets it, and eventually there's a showdown with Ed Harris and his goons versus Vito, and Vito takes some of them out. Pretty, bad, gets the, with the palm, pop, pop, pop. Shoots a guy, gets wounded. But his son kills Ed Harris. Idea when the bullets hit, it's practical squibs, which makes it look more real because you're using real practical stuff to sell the illusion of death scenes, which makes it more impactful, and it makes it last longer in terms of I could look back and go, ooh, that still looks grisly, instead of, oh, look at that crappy CG effect, or look at that CG effect that hasn't aged well. This is why I prefer practical effects over CG. Practical effects have a much longer lifespan than CG effects. That's the way I look at it. Squibs still look good today. If you look at a film from the 80s, it still works. It still holds up. I just got done watching Commando with some friends, and the squibs still look good. I'm not taking out of it. Same with this. And this is from 2005. So after that, you have the tensions rise, as now they know Viggo Mortensen, he used to be this hitman named Joey. He wanted to leave and start a new life, and he did. Beating Maria Bello, having a family. And so, like, the son doesn't know how to deal with his dad. I wish there was a little bit more of that, of the son, and how he should approach or not approach his dad. Also, there's really nothing of a follow-up to those bullies. I know the kid got suspended from school, but I don't remember ever seeing, like, the kid, this girl that liked him. I don't remember seeing her again. Or maybe, like, the bullies wanted to get revenge, but then something else happens of, like, I don't know, I wish there was a little bit more of the father-son dynamic now that the tensions are arising. The little girl pretty much disappears to the end of the film. Like, what's the little girl's reaction to what's going on? What's the little girl's feelings about her dad? And maybe one kid doesn't want to believe in him, but the other kid's like, you're still my dad no matter what. Maybe that could have been a different dynamic. Or maybe the brother and sister argue with each other. That's our dad, that's not our dad. Yes, it is our dad. And the little girl was sticking up for her dad and standing up to her big brother. And he's the one who did this with us, and he's the one who did this with us. He's the one who helped me this, and he's the one who helped you with that. And maybe they could create some interesting family drama or dynamics. But I did, and wants to concentrate on Vito, and I do get that. I'm not saying it's needed, but I would have been interested in seeing some of those aspects further developed. And that shows how intrigued I was with the story, that I would have been fine seeing a bit more. Because usually I'd complain about there's too much fat, cut it out. the wife, there's a bit friction. She wants nothing to do with him, but then they get into like this violent sex. I kind of wish that was followed up more. Like there's a bit of her there's a thrill of finding out that this guy had this past and history and how tough he is, and maybe is it because she is affected by his manliness and his strength of he's a man, he's a badass, he could defend me, and just some women do like that, or some women don't want to think about that because it's not proper. But yeah, I want a man to defend me. Hell yeah, I want a man that could kick some man. Like maybe something development with her. But anyway, after this, she does help him by the cop is kind of unsure about Vito, but then she lies for him so Vito doesn't get into trouble. Eventually, Vito gets a call from his brother. It pretty much kind of threatens he's going to come down there. So Vito goes over to Philly. His brother's played by William Hurt. Rest in peace, William Hurt, who was General Ross in The Incredible Hulk. I'm sure he would have been in that Captain America movie if he was still alive, but he died, so they replaced him with Harrison Ford. He was also in Altered States, which I liked the film. Vantage Point I liked. He was the president of the United States in that. He plays here Vito's brother, who was part of a criminal empire. I guess Ed Harris's team, or someone, I forget who. Vito messed with someone. That someone took their anger out on William Hurt, and now William Hurt kind of wants some bit of revenge. Vito went there, says, "Hey, what can I do to make it up to you?" And this is where you even get more of what the title means, A History of Violence, where William Hurt literally admits, when Mom brought you home, I still remember I tried to strangle you in your crib. And so you imagine that if your life starts off in that fashion, with that kind of history of violence, no wonder it snowballs into what we have here today. But then he goes, well, better late than never. Well, what do you want me to do to make peace? I do like William Hurt's answer. Did you die? They try to kill Vito. I didn't Vito showing he's a badass, but nothing too over the top. I did very brutal. Gets out of almost being strangled. Punches people. Knee to the face. Chop to the neck. Stomp in the neck, which, I don't know, something about that. That's weird. Like, someone could get shot in the head, and I'm like, oh, cool, blood squib. But it's when the guy's on the ground and he stomps on the neck, that one just, for some reason, I did this. Like, ooh. I know that's weird, but something about that is just more effective to me. I don't know why. He breaks the guy's neck, escapes, kills a few other more people. There's William Hurt, shoots him in the head. And I thought the ending was interesting, because he gets back home and you have kind of this tension during dinner and he doesn't know whether he should stay or go. The daughter sets up a plate, he sits down. The son gives him a bit of food, he looks at it. The wife has like tears in her eyes, and you see this look on Vito's face, very sad, haunted look. That the whole scene tells a story without any dialogue, and you don't need dialogue. And you could come to your own conclusion. The way I look at it is going to take some time, but they'll get through it. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but they're still there, and again, it's going to take some time. I think maybe it would be nice to have some kind of little bit in-depth conversations between Viggo and the wife or Viggo and the son before he left for the William Hurt stuff. Maybe people would think that'd be too much talking, too much. It wouldn't be exposition. Maybe they thought it'd be too over dramatic or too preachy or something. But I just wish there was a little bit more in there. But overall, good cast, simple but effective story, some nice oh shit moments of violence, and good in what it was trying to showcase. So I didn't. Interesting to see David Cronenberg try to do something different, and I thought succeeding for the most part, succeeding. So I would definitely put this in my top 5 Cronenberg films. I didn't. The Fly remake is still my favorite. Then either Videodrome or The Dead Zone. One or the other. And then the other. Maybe this be number 4. Yeah, maybe this be number 4. Maybe Naked Lunch would be 5. Because I don't like Scanners. I think Scanners is boring as shit. And the head explosion is cool, and Michael Ironside is effective. But I do not like the lead guy. He is boring as fuck. And that movie's boring as hell, too. His stuff from the 70s, I couldn't really get into much. I know other people were into them more. They're trying to just... The Brood, what was the fucking other one? Shivers. I didn't, whatever. Not for me. I just never felt anything for them. But this I like. I thought this was pretty good. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. Thanks once again, Devon. And we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye for now.